Every spring, millions of gardeners walk outside with a bottle of herbicide and destroy some of the most valuable plants on Earth. They pull them, they spray them, they curse their very existence. Meanwhile, the gardening industry keeps selling you seeds for plants that require constant watering, endless fertilizing, and careful protection from pests. What if I told you the plants you have been fighting are the ones you should be growing? And by the end of this video, you will know exactly which 10 plants the gardening establishment has been hiding from you and how to turn them into the most productive, resilient, and valuable additions to your garden this April. Welcome back to Garden Explained with Harry. Hit that subscribe button. Now let me show you what the mainstream gardening world does not want you to know. Let's start with number 10. If you have ever grown this plant, your neighbors probably told you it would take over your entire yard. They warned you about aggressive self-seeding. They called it weedy and uncontrollable. But here is what they did not tell you. This plant refills its nectar every 2 to 5 minutes. Most flowers take up to 24 hours to refill. That means pollinators visit this plant over and over again throughout the day. I am talking about borage. Those beautiful blue star-shaped flowers you see popping up in cottage gardens across England and North America. Research from the University of Minnesota shows that borage is highly attractive to bees, competes extremely well with weeds, and blooms continuously throughout the entire growing season. But wait, there is more. Borage repels tomato hornworms and cabbage worms while attracting beneficial insects. It produces massive amounts of plant matter that you can chop and drop right onto your garden beds. That material breaks down into nutrient-rich mulch that suppresses weeds and feeds your soil. April is perfect timing. Direct sow after your last frost. Plant it once and it will self-seed for years. The very trait gardeners fear is actually your ticket to a forever supply, but borage is just the beginning. The next plant has been actively hunted and destroyed by homeowners for generations. Billions of dollars are spent on chemicals to eliminate it from American lawns. I am talking about the yellow flower that suburbia despises. The dandelion, Taraxacum officinale, the ultimate symbol of an unkempt lawn, the weed that launched a billion-dollar herbicide industry, except it is not a weed at all. It is one of the most nutritionally complete plants you could possibly grow. The common dandelion contains substantial levels of vitamins A, C, D, and the entire B complex. It provides iron, magnesium, zinc, potassium, manganese, copper, calcium, and silicon. The United States Food and Drug Administration has placed dandelion on its official list of safe products. This is not fringe science. This is federal acknowledgement. Researchers have documented 12 distinct therapeutic properties in dandelion. We are talking diuretic, hepatoprotective, anti-colitis, immunoprotective, antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial, anti-arthritic, anti-diabetic, anti-obesity, antioxidant, and anti-cancer effects. Dandelions can prevent fatty liver disease and protect the pancreas. They contain no known toxins. Every single part is edible. The leaves, the roots, the flowers. Here's a tip most people miss. Dandelions grown in shade produce larger, more tender leaves with a milder flavor. So stop spraying, start harvesting. Your lawn is already a grocery store. If dandelion shocked you, wait until you hear about the next one. It literally stings you when you touch it. People actively avoid this plant. They wear gloves around it, they spray it with herbicides, they treat it like a dangerous invader. Stinging nettle, Ortica dioica, that plant that gave you a painful rash as a kid, the one growing along fence lines and in ditches across North America and Europe. Here is what nobody told you about that painful encounter. Stinging nettle leaf powder contains 33.8% crude protein. That is higher than most beans. It has 9.1% fiber and 3.6% healthy fats. Research published in the journal Molecules found that nettle provides 90 to 100% of your daily vitamin A requirement. It is also a good source of dietary calcium, iron, and protein. This plant has been used as a natural remedy for over 2,000 years. Modern science has confirmed anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, analgesic, and immunostimulatory properties. The research shows nettle is safe when taken in doses up to 18 grams per day. The sting that keeps people away disappears completely when you cook it. Blanching for just 30 seconds neutralizes those tiny needles. April is the time to establish nettle in a contained area of your garden. It spreads by runners, so give it boundaries. Harvest the young spring shoots while wearing gloves. Steam them, sauté them, or dry them for tea. That plant you have been avoiding is actually a pharmacy growing for free. Now we are getting into plants that most gardeners have never even considered eating. This next one probably grows within 50 feet of where you are sitting right now. It pops up in disturbed soil, in garden beds, along driveways. Gardeners pull it reflexively without a second thought. Common lamb's quarters, Chenopodium album, one of the most common garden weeds in North America and one of the most nutritious plants on the planet. Just 1 cup of chopped lamb's quarters leaves gives you 464 milligrams of calcium. Spinach gives you 30. That same cup provides 66 milligrams of vitamin C compared to 8.4 in spinach. Lamb's quarters contains more iron and protein than raw cabbage or spinach. It has more calcium and vitamin B1 than cabbage and more vitamin B2 than cabbage or spinach combined. Calcium. Michael Pollan, the best-selling author of The Omnivore's Dilemma, calls lamb's quarters and its cousin Purslane 2 of the most nutritious plants in the world. Here is the thing. You do not need to plant it, it is already growing in your garden. Just stop pulling it, or direct sow seeds in disturbed soil this April and let nature do the rest. Speaking of plants Pollan mentioned, the next one might be the most underrated superfood on Earth. It probably drove you crazy last summer. You pulled it constantly, you complained about how it keeps coming back. It grows flat along the ground with thick, succulent leaves and tiny yellow flowers. Purslane, Portulaca oleracea, classified as an invasive weed in many areas, considered trash vegetation by most gardeners, and yet science tells a completely different story. Purslane has been identified as containing the highest amount of omega-3 fatty acids of any green leafy vegetable on Earth, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA. 100 grams of fresh purslane leaves contain 300 to 400 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids. It provides 12.2 milligrams of alpha-tocopherol, 26.6 milligrams of ascorbic acid, and 14.8 milligrams of glutathione. Purslane delivers 6 times more vitamin E than spinach and 7 times more beta-carotene than carrots. And unlike fish oils, purslane contains no cholesterol whatsoever. The texture is succulent and crunchy with a bright lemony flavor. Plant purslane after your soil reaches 60 degrees Fahrenheit, typically mid to late April in most zones. Once established, it self-seeds readily, and you can harvest continuously all summer long. That flat-growing weed you have been fighting is actually a superfood factory. We are now entering plants that actively terrify people. This next one has been spreading underground across North America for centuries. Gardeners call it impossible to remove once planted. It has become so tenacious that it is considered invasive in much of its modern range. The warnings are everywhere. Never plant this in your garden. Jerusalem artichoke, also known as choke, Helianthus tuberosus, those tall, yellow, sunflower-like blooms you see along roadsides and in abandoned fields. According to the University of Wisconsin Extension, a single sunchoke plant can produce 3 to 6 pounds of tubers every year. Research has shown that these tubers contain more protein than soybeans, corn, wheat, or beans. Just 1 cup of sunchoke's white flesh provides 28% of your daily iron, 18% of potassium, and 10% of vitamin C. But here's where it gets really interesting. Sunchokes contain high levels of inulin, a prebiotic fiber that stimulates the growth of beneficial bifidobacteria in your gut. These bacteria fight harmful pathogens and support immune function. With their low glycemic index, sunchokes help maintain blood sugar levels, making them excellent for diabetics. Native Americans cultivated this plant for centuries. Modern gardeners are just now rediscovering what indigenous people always knew. Plant tubers 4 to 6 inches deep this April. Give them their own dedicated bed because, yes, they will spread. That aggressive growth is exactly what makes them so productive. Harvest after the first frost for the sweetest flavor. A single planting can produce food for more than 20 years. Now we are entering the final 4. Plants so controversial, so misunderstood that what I am about to tell you might genuinely change how you think about your entire garden. This next plant spreads aggressively via underground runners. Gardeners warn it will take over everything. It is often considered nothing more than an invasive mint relative. But here is what happens when scientists actually study it. Lemon balm, Melissa officinalis, the lemony-scented plant your grandmother probably grew. A meta-analysis published in Phytotherapy Research found that lemon balm significantly improved mean anxiety and depression scores compared with placebo. The researchers concluded that current evidence suggests lemon balm may be effective in improving anxiety and depressive symptoms. Additional pharmacological research reveals that lemon balm modulates several brain signaling pathways, including GABAergic, cholinergic, and serotonergic systems. Records of its medicinal use date back over 2,000 years. Modern scientists at leading research institutions now describe Melissa officinalis as a promising natural calming agent for emotional distress and related conditions. Plant it in containers this April to control the spread, or give it a dedicated patch and embrace the abundance. Harvest leaves throughout summer for fresh tea. The mint family's aggressive nature is actually a feature, not a bug. You will never run out, but everything I have said pales in comparison to the next plant. This one was used as medicine for over 2,000 years. Then the FDA issued warnings that essentially blacklisted it. Many gardeners are now afraid to even grow it. Comfrey, Symphytum officinale, also known historically as bone set and knit bone because it was used to heal wounds and set broken bones. Yes, comfrey contains pyrrolizidine alkaloids that make internal consumption questionable. Externally, this plant is extraordinary. Comfrey is rich in allantoin, a compound that promotes cell regeneration. Research shows it can significantly reduce healing time for cuts, bruises, and even fractures. A study published in Phytotherapy Research demonstrated that comfrey can be as effective as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs in reducing pain and swelling. All of that from a plant. But here is what permaculture gardeners have known for decades. Comfrey is not just medicine, it is a living fertilizer factory. The root system reaches deep into the subsoil, searching for nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. These nutrients are stored in the massive leaf system. Chop those leaves and drop them as mulch. Soak them in water to make liquid fertilizer. Add them to your compost to accelerate decomposition. April through September is the planting window, but spring is best. Plant root cuttings 2 to 4 inches deep. Once established, comfrey is virtually indestructible. You will be harvesting leaves for years. And now the number 2 plant. This one will make you question everything you thought you knew about what belongs in a garden. It is the ultimate garden takeover plant. It spreads via underground runners indefinitely. Gardeners absolutely refuse to plant it in the ground. Mint, the entire mentha family. Yes, mint spreads aggressively. That is precisely what makes it one of the most valuable plants you can grow. Mint is one of the most documented medicinal herbs in existence. It is a digestive aid, a natural pest deterrent, a culinary staple across many cuisines, and a supporter of mental clarity. Drought tolerant once established, it gives you a continuous harvest all season long. Research on peppermint alone shows documented benefits for irritable bowel syndrome, for nausea, and for headaches. The essential oils have proven antimicrobial properties. Menthol provides natural cooling and respiratory support. Here is the solution everyone misses. Plant mint in containers or in bottomless buckets buried in the ground, or simply embrace the spread in a dedicated mint meadow. You will never need to buy mint again. Plant divisions this April after your last frost. Harvest aggressively because it only grows back stronger. And finally, the number one forbidden plant. This is the one that pulled everything together for me. It is the plant that made me realize we have had it backwards all along. It is considered just a flower, not productive enough for serious gardeners. It self-seeds too aggressively. It gets relegated to ornamental beds only. Calendula, Calendula officinalis, those bright orange and yellow flowers you see in old-fashioned cottage gardens. Calendula is one of the most powerful medicinal plants you can grow at home. Those sticky flowers everyone complains about contain resin loaded with healing compounds. The skin-healing properties rival pharmaceutical creams. It is antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory, all documented in peer-reviewed research. The petals are completely eatable. Add them to salads, steep them for tea, or use them to color rice naturally. Calendula attracts pollinators while requiring almost no care. It grows in poor soil, it tolerates drought, it self-seeds to return year after year. Calendula represents everything we have talked about today: beauty, function, and medicine in one plant. The so-called forbidden quality, that aggressive self-seeding, is exactly what makes it so valuable. Once you understand Calendula, you understand all 10 of these plants. The traits we have been told to fear are actually the traits that make gardens abundant. Direct sow Calendula seeds 1/4 inch deep this April. They germinate in 7 to 14 days. You will see blooms within 8 weeks. Deadhead the flowers to extend blooming into fall. Your garden is ready to become something different. The only question is whether you will keep pulling out the treasure or finally start growing it. Subscribe and watch the next video to discover more secrets explained in your garden.